Hey there, I'm Ashley, and this is New Day with Ashley. If you're looking for inspiration to make a difference and create lasting impact, then you're in the right place. Get ready to be encouraged by the stories of my guests who have taken risks, overcome challenges, and created opportunities. It's time to make the most of your new day. My guest today is always striving to be better than yesterday and encourages others to do the same. Dr. Karla Wolford is a chiropractor and a coach, as well as the owner and CEO of EHP Performance, a medical fitness facility that uses exercise and nutrition rather than additional drugs and medications to empower their patients and athletes to live a healthier life. She not only talks the talk, but she also walks the walk, setting an example for her patients and athletes.
Growing up, I always knew I wanted to help people. And as I went through college, that kind of avenue shaped up to be, no, I actually don't want to be a traditional doctor because I didn't want to prescribe medicine all day. I wanted to be able to help people in other ways. And so that's kind of how I shaped up, went the chiropractic route. And actually our business model now is really something from 2007 when I dreamt up in a business plan in graduate school. And back then it was sort of the dream big or go home. And so I had this huge business plan and it was kind of scary. So the big, hairy, audacious goal type of thing. And I didn't implement that right away. I had a small clinic and we had a small gym. And after the pandemic hit and realizing what it did to our members, not so much physical health, but more mental health, what being shut down really meant to them, I was like, no, we need a place where people can come because I don't want people in the sick care system. I want to have people in a true healthcare system. And that's what we are striving to be at EHP.
Okay.
And as of recent, we have a physical therapist who works out of there and a mental performance coach who works out of there, and also now just added a massage therapist. So we're still missing a primary care, and that's in our larger scheme of plans. But we are able to prescribe exercise and nutrition and talk about sleep counseling and stress and kind of doing all those things that maybe your primary care doesn't. They'll tell you to eat better and exercise, but what does that really mean? And some people don't innately know, and they need to be shown how to properly move their bodies, and that's what we're there for.
Yeah. No, I think that's so good what you guys are doing. I mean, I believe in that 100%. From sleep, things that get often overlooked, stress, of nope, a workout is not what you need. You need to sleep.
Yeah.
So, and then growing up, were you an athlete too?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I did all things. I
and still do all things.
Everything. I was not a specialist. I was just an athlete who liked doing lots of different things and being challenged in different ways. I wasn't say I wasn't a good athlete, but I was definitely not one that specialized and excelled in it. Only I didn't just do the one thing. I just like to do lots of things. Okay.
And so then you go away, you go to school, and then you come. Where were you from originally?
I'm from Barnesville, Minnesota.
Barnesville. Okay. Yeah. So you come back to the area then.
Yep. It took me a while.
Okay.
I was out of school for quite a while before I moved back here. Gained some, I'll call it real world experience. I worked for a company down in Chanhassen, Minnesota. Decided that I was not ready to settle down in Chanhassen. I seemed that I needed a husband, a dog, a white picket fence, and 2 kids really quickly.
Sure.
And I love Chanhassen, but I was just all right, I need to
not yet.
I need some other experiences. So I actually worked out in Vail, Colorado for a great company. However, they hired me to do sports medicine, and it was not a sports medicine job. I did not last very long. It was post-operative and geriatric. And as much as I love those populations, I was not cut out for that. And so I took a job in Seattle for a few years, and I loved it actually out there, but I was neglecting that focus on family. And once I acknowledged that, I knew what the right move was. And so in end of 2014, I moved back to the area.
Okay, so then this plan that you had been working on in graduate school, this dream.
It didn't quite happen yet.
Okay.
I decided the way I work in the chiropractic field, I do a lot of different things that maybe not all chiropractors do. Adjusting is a very small part of what I do. Obviously, we talked about all the life stuff that we'll talk about and we'll consider, because if people have multiple joint issues, it's probably not the joint's fault. It's probably an inflammatory or dietary. And so I dig into that. We'll dig into all sorts of things. But I adjust. I do myofascial work, active release technique, acupuncture, dry needling. And so I have a pretty wide array of a toolbox.
Yeah.
And then for the athletic population, I do a lot of like biomechanical and functional assessments, because a lot of it boils down to people are moving wrong, which is why they keep having the same thing over and over again. So
I'm like, I'm probably sitting wrong right now.
I am too. I'm like trying to be proper and cross my legs for your
You don't have to. No, you can lay down actually. No,
yeah.
There's a nice pillow, not ergonomically correct, but no.
Yeah. So I guess in bringing all of that, I was looking for a job, and in my mind, I would have worked for like a larger healthcare institution, but after working in the field for a while, I came to understand that insurance is a funny game, and you can only help people that are injured. You really can't help people that are doing pretty good.
Sure.
And that's really the population I wanted to work with. And not that I don't want to work with injured people. That's usually people I see first, but then once I get them feeling better, then they're like, I don't ever want to go back there.
Right.
And so when I was looking at the grand scheme of things, one of my favorite things to do was work with professional athletes. And I think a lot of it was because it was their mentality of like, I really want to take care of my body. Mm-hmm. This body is my vessel to do whatever I need to do in life. And so, I kind of set up my sports medicine based. I don't take insurance. I do take HSA and flex spending, and that allows me to use all those tools in my toolbox to not only help people get healthy, but stay healthy. And unfortunately, unless I would commit insurance fraud, I don't bill insurance, because I would have to do things that are not morally correct in order to have insurance pay for the things that I do. And so that's the hard part about our insurance world, is they'll only get you to what is considered their activities of daily living.
Right.
It's not your activities of daily interest. If you want to run a marathon, if you want to back squat 200 pounds, if like they don't care. Can you sit on a toilet? Can you brush your teeth? Can you eat? Can you drive a car? Like those are kind of their standards. Yeah. And then they're gonna stop care, unfortunately. And so I do think that there is more to it, and I understand there's barriers of cost, obviously, that come with it. However, if you do have the means to take care of your body on the front end, you're not going to pay for it on the back end.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's just the route I chose when I moved here. So I opened a small clinic, and at the same time, I opened a small gym, and they were separate entities. And I decided, well, if I can help like train other coaches, and we can help 15 people in an hour, not just 1 or 2 people in an hour, then I'm going to make a bigger impact on the health of this community. And so that's kind of what we set out to do originally in 2015.
Okay.
And then in 2020, we converted. So after meeting with tons of healthcare lawyers and figuring out how to legally set this up, we became a medical fitness facility. Okay. So basically my clinic bought the gym, and now every new athlete coming in actually has a sports physical with myself, and then they have a movement screen, a fitness assessment, body composition testing, measurements, all that stuff done with one of our head coaches. And so we can help them best determine what's the right pathway for them. Sure. We used to just throw people in a program that they said they wanted to be in. I look back and I cringe, because that was not the right approach. People might not be physically or mentally ready for that, or they might not have the confidence that they need yet. And so by doing this, we can help people determine is it personal coaching? Is it one of our like beginner boot camps? Can we go into Elevate? Like where's your best entry point to meet you where you're at? And so we're able to do that, and then help create an environment for them that they can thrive in and that they can grow in. And so that's been really helpful for us to really give them that knowledge. And then by having that sports physical, I get to know about all of the things.
Sure. Injuries. Yeah.
And after bringing all of our members through them in 2020, I kind of sat back and thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this the whole time? Super helpful. And it also helped our coaches to understand, because I think my coaches are probably the most knowledgeable in injuries and movement.
Sure.
And I mean, we've done like cadaver labs and stuff so they can visualize and learn, because every week we go over athlete updates. And so if they have a physical thing, like, hey, if John Doe has this shoulder injury, this is what's going on with the inside of his shoulder. These are the movements we want to avoid, and just how we get him through some rehab to make it feel better. These are the things that you can do, totally safe, crush it on that one, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we really like to celebrate the things your body can do, not necessarily the things that you might need to be limited in. So
I like that.
Whereas if you go to mainstream, you have a shoulder injury, they're going to tell you not to work out for 6 weeks. But we know physically that can be very deteriorating. And then for people's mental health, the physical drives the mental. And so if your mental and emotional health is taking a tank, especially this time of year, that can mean a downward spiral for a lot of other things. So we want to keep people moving in a healthy way. We might just need to tweak what they're doing so they can stay on a path of fitness, not sickness.
Wow, what a great episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always so inspiring sharing these stories. To listen to the full podcast, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. Remember to like and subscribe. I would love if you could leave me a 5-star review. This helps us reach and engage with more people. Join me next week, and until then, make the most of your new day.